No.
his computer. He'll want to charge for that.
See what happens.
Okay, I'll start then. You ready, Kate?
Yeah, just bear with me. Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Joint Transportation Board. Please note this meeting is being streamed live to the internet. Please could all members ensure their microphone is set to mute unless they are speaking to reduce any background noise. Members should use the raise hand button when they wish to speak and be asked by myself to speak. But okay, so everybody welcome, and we'll go on to the agenda. The first thing is apologies for absence. Do we have any, Kate?
Yes, we do, Chairman. We have apologies from Councillor Gain this evening.
Thank you. Any more? That's the last one. That's the only one, yeah?
That's it, yes.
Right, thank you. Councillor Love, you've raised your hand.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Can I ask a procedural question before we get into the nitty-gritty of the meeting? I'm just wondering how long we're going to continue with online Joint Transportation Board meetings, or whether what plans there are to return to face-to-face meetings. On the basis that most Kent County Council formal meetings are now have now returned to face-to-face.
Or there's split versions where we have a hybrid, some online and some physically in the meeting. I don't know the answer to that. I'll have to find out from you. Kate, do you have any ideas?
Yeah, is that okay to speak, Chairman?
Of course it is.
Councillor Love, thank you. At the moment, we have no plans to return to the chamber for Joint Transportation Board or the Joint District and Parish meetings because they are not formal committees. This will be reviewed, but at present, we're going to remain as remote meetings.
What are the timescales for the review?
I would imagine it's going to be possibly at the annual council meeting in May. It could be reviewed. We have another 2 remote JTB meetings before we hit that date. It is something I can refer to our Chief Exec, though, Susan Priest.
If I can jump in there, Kate, that would be a good idea. I can see Rory's not overly impressed with that answer. I think it'd be a good idea to get Susan Priest to have a view. From my point of view, of course, I'm saving the planet by not doing too much CO2 going up down to Folkestone. But that's just my personal view. But yeah, we'll get an answer for you, Rory, and it's a worthwhile question. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Chairman. Very grateful and grateful to Kate. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, any declarations of interest, which is number 2 on my agenda? Disclosable pecuniary interest, other significant interest, or voluntary announcement of other interests. And hello, David. Do we have any disclosures? Anybody? No?
No.
No, they're all squeaky clean, are they? That's good. Right, number 3 on the agenda, minutes. Have you had a chance to have a read of the minutes? Is there any points you would like to raise in the minutes which aren't covered in the agenda later? No? Are we content with that?
I'm happy with that.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go straight on then to proposed parking restrictions. That's on my page number 9. Basically, you got footway, verge and parking bans under proposed parking restrictions: Campbell Road, Hawkinge, Vinelands, Lyd, Chapel Street, Hythe, and Prospect Road, Hythe. Does anybody have any views on those? No? Okay. Sorry, I didn't say it, David. Is yours an old hand, Rory?
No, I've just put it up, actually.
Okay, you go first. And I'll...
Just Campbell Road's my neck of the woods. It is very tight down there, and I can understand the residents' concerns. Resolving it could be an issue, but we'll wait and see what happens with the consultation. So I think it's right to try.
Okay, excellent. Rory, is that historic or?
It's not, Chairman. It's a new hand, and if I may, just welcome the proposal for Prospect Road Hythe.
Yeah.
And before anyone comments, I know it's not in my division. I have no territorial ambitions over that section of Prospect Road, but I have been working with the division, my division colleague Andy Weatherhead, on this. There are some really dangerous parking situations that have arisen where people have been parking on the footway. It's a fairly narrow section of road. It's slightly confusing because there's the bus lane as well.
Yeah.
And residents of my division who go to Hythe, walk into Hythe for shopping and so on, have raised it with me. And can I give credit to the folks in the Hythe District Council team, I think it was Paul in particular, for getting this on the agenda this quickly. I'm very grateful that we're jumping on this and taking the action, the only appropriate action, the only action that can be taken in the circumstances. I mean, I really welcome some bollards there, but that's not possible, I understand, because of the utilities underneath. But there was a really fast turnaround by Paul Thompson and the Highways team to get it onto the agenda this quickly. So grateful thanks for that, and I'm sure that's going to make for a safer environment for both pedestrians and motorists. It's just on the boundary of my patch. That's why I've taken an interest in it. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thanks for Councillor Love. That's very appreciative. I can see Susan Carey's putting her hand up physically.
Yes, a real hand. First of all, an apology. My system decided to do an update just as I was joining you. I heard Councillor Godfrey, just caught the tail end of him talking about Campbell Road. From the text of the report, it says one resident has raised the issue about parking on the footway. But from the map, it looks like an enormous area is proposed for the restriction. And I'm aware that there are already parking difficulties up there. These were built when John Prescott decided we could all do without cars, and therefore the maximum parking standards became a minimum. The minimum became a maximum. So this part of Hawkinge was built without sufficient parking for people, and it's a real problem. So I'm surprised that we're looking. I know it's going out to consultation and we'll be asking people what they think, but this seems a very dramatic response to something that one resident has raised. And I'd like the officers to explain a bit more, please, and talk me through this map, because it's really a very long section of Hawkinge that's proposed for this restriction.
Right, thanks for that, Susan. Thank you. Paul, do you want to put more flesh on those bones?
Yeah. So we had this email in from a resident with photographs showing what it actually is the you've got a grass verge that separates the highway and the footway, and then you've got the driveways that go across to the driveways next to the house. And what a lot of vehicles seem to be doing is parking on the driveway section between the highway and their own driveway. And they're actually blocking the footpath. So you either have to walk out onto the grass or out onto the road. They're not on, it's not on their private driveway. It's actually on the highway that they're parking. Okay, so is the right way to deal with this a parking restriction, or is it they're clearly blocking the highway? Is it not a letter to the residents saying that they mustn't do that or action will be taken? Do we have to have a parking restriction to do this? Because clearly they shouldn't be doing that to start with. Of course, we don't have to have parking restrictions. We could always send out letters where we've got issues. Obviously, if you have people that still contravene and we don't have a restriction, then we can take no enforcement action.
If I can just jump in there, is that right, Paul? If you go to consultation, we can be guided by the consultation. We could even bring it back here and discuss it in more detail on
That's
what
right.
people's reactions are locally.
Oh, yeah,
You-
And that way,
we'd still need consultation on it.
Yeah, you're right, Chairman, of course. It just seems to me that this is actually something that happens quite a lot everywhere. And here we've got a big section of Hawkinge proposed for a parking restriction. So
Yes,
obviously
it could
my
be.
job will be to make sure everyone knows what's proposed, because if it goes in and of course, the other issue is anyone ever going to enforce this? I'm sure Paul will tell me he will.
I could. Yes, David, you want to have another word?
Yeah, I take Susan's point. However, I know one resident has written in, but quite a few residents, when you go in that area for other reasons, complain about the horrendous parking up there. So I felt it's quite good to have the consultation and let them have their voice and feel that something might be done.
Yeah.
But whether you're going to resolve it or not is another issue.
I doubt it, but okay.
Right.
And the section highlighted on the map is about 118 metres in total. So it's not what I would class a large scale footway parking ban. A lot of the areas around Hawkinge, unfortunately, are too narrow to actually install a footway ban, because it would force vehicles onto the road, and it would be too narrow for, you know, delivery vehicles, refuse vehicles, and emergency service vehicles and the like. This particular area is quite unique with that sort of double aspect to the driveway, with that large grass verge that runs up the side, particularly on the sort of western side in particular.
Okay, then.
well,
Yeah, are you happy? Okay. Well,
no,
happy.
not happy, but I've had my questions answered.
Oh, fair enough then. Okay, the next bit on that is waiting restrictions, double yellow lines, Harvey Place, that's off Harvey Street, Folkestone. Any points on that? Okay, good. Moving on, recommendations. Yeah, recommendation will go to outside asking views before we do anything. Okay, going on to the highway works programme, point number 5 on our agenda. I'll go through those. Well, page by page will be the best bit, I think. On the appendix. Appendix A, which is 15, page 15, road asset renewal schemes. Do we have any views on that first section there on page 15?
Thank you, Chairman.
Yep.
My usual comment about Orchard Valley Road, I know it's completed and highways know that we're not happy with that. There doesn't seem to be a solution, but I just want to register the fact that I hope we can find a solution, because it causes continuous problems.
Okay, point taken. Rory, is that your hand up for a word? Or
It's a new hand. It's a new hand.
new
Well,
hand.
hands disappear as soon as I put them up. I'm extremely impressed by the efficiency with
Kate.
which they're taken down. So this is a new one. I just wanted to confirm, Chairman, are you working from the updated Highways Works programme?
I have
report?
got the updated one with me, but no, I'm working from the agenda because it's page numbered. The new ones aren't. If you've got any questions on the new one, please put them in. I think there's only 2 minor differences, if I understand
Yeah.
my
Chairman,
officers
can I-
correctly. Yes,
Can I
Kate?
just say, Chair, the changes on the updated highway programme is the addition of Appendix F and Appendix I street works. They're the 2 updates that have been made in the new reports.
Are you content with that, Susan?
Well, could I put a protest in about so many of the names being misspelled? I think it's very misleading for people, and I wish Highways, who are responsible for the gazetteer of every street name in Kent, would actually pay more attention to this. And you know, some of the traffic notices that append from these, there was one that went out in the last 6 months where it actually wasn't legal. It had been so badly misspelled. It was actually, it had to be reissued. And I really think for a report like this, we ought to be getting names right so that people can actually know what's being talked about. And you know, it's some of it's gibberish. I'm sorry. I think I know what you're talking about, but please get the names right.
Okay, if you got anything in particular that really is upsetting you, just let Kate know, and I'm sure she'll pass it on to the right people.
Well, it shouldn't be for members to do this. You should go away and get it corrected and put in a report that, I'm sorry, I'm beginning to sound
no, some members are more literate than others, aren't they, Susan? And,
yeah, but these are place names. These are place
I know,
names.
I know.
And
I
I
take
think
the full
it's
thrust.
important that they're right.
I'm sure they picked up on that. Don't worry.
Sorry. My hand is up. Let me put it down.
I can see your hand. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, just right, it's down. Just going on from Councillor. Oh, lower hand. There we go. Yeah,
Right,
just the wrong spellings. This has been brought up before. What doesn't help is the Forward Works programme had come out late. It'd been rushed, which is no excuse. But I have picked up that there are spelling mistakes in there, and I'll take it back again to my colleagues that we've got to get these spellings correct.
Yeah.
I know the matters that Councillor Carey had brought up within the last 6 months, and luckily I was able to address them for Councillor Carey. But it just gives me and Councillor Carey and the like more work. So it has been addressed, Chair, and it will be.
Okay, James, thank you for that. Are you content, Susan? Okay, right. Okay, moving on. Where are we? Micro surfacing, midway down page 15. Ordington Road has been completed. We have some surface dressing all been completed on the bottom of page 15.
Sorry, Chair.
Go on.
Sorry to butt in, me again. I've just got an update on Blue House Lane.
Yeah, Hyde.
Bear with me here. Right. It's got their current status as cancelled. That was because there was some flooding drainage issues. I've had an update today. The drainage, touchwood, has been addressed and was completed last Friday. And now our surfacing team, our RAFAT team, are now looking at reprogramming Blue House Lane for next financial year, now that the flooding issues have been addressed.
Okay, well, we can put that back on the menu in the next meeting. That's good. Yeah. Thank you for that, James. That's good. Right, moving on, page 16, and we're looking at retread. We have 4 people down there, all completed. Any views on that at all? And then we'll come up to one of our happy little ones, footway cycle asset renewal and preservation schemes on page 16. So I would assume we go through, I'll go back through by name, I think. Inglesby Road, Shepherd's Walk, A20 Ashford Road, Fairfield Road, New Romney, Former Gardens, New Romney, and Castle Avenue, Hyde. Any views on that? They're all completed, the bottom 4 anyway. No? Okay. Going on to Appendix B, drainage works. We have 5 items. Celsius Bend, Stockham Lane, Sandgate Road, Horn Street and Harden Lane in Lydd. Do we have any views on that? No? If I can just say on Harden Lane, I'm very pleased to see that's been investigated. We've had a lot of problems down there with vibration, and it wouldn't surprise me if that vibration is causing more problems down below. So I'm glad it's been investigated. So thank you for that. Turning over page 18, street lighting, update to follow. We have natural work there from Sue Kinsella. Do we have anything, Kate, else coming in on that, or is that it? Are you there, Kate? Have you been cut off?
Sorry, Appendix C has been completed in the updated report.
Okay. There's 1 or 2 things going on at the moment, but okay, we'll pick up the next meeting. Thank you for that, Kate. Appendix D.
Sorry, again.
Yep. Okay, James.
just going back to Appendix C street lighting, I've picked this up and it will be addressed in future. For example, Langhorne Gardens, the status there, it says February 2020. That should be, in fact, 2022.
Okay.
Street lighting have apologised, but we have 5 locations there under street lighting that says February 2020. It should be February 2022.
Right, okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Right. Appendix D, page 19. We have casualty reduction measures under local transport plan funded schemes. First one is Lyd Road, Old Romney, Hammond's Corner. You know about that. If anybody's got a spare £1.5 million, please let me know. We would love to put that in. Then the next one is the A260 Cadbury Road, Morecambe Valley. Dare I mention that, Mr. Godfrey around. And then we've got Blackpool Road, sorry, in Folkestone. That's been completed. Anything on those at all? Are we okay? Yeah. LTP schemes, Folkestone High.
Chairman, you've got some hands up.
Thank you. Raft. I didn't see which order, so I'll go on my screen. Dylan, you're first on my screen.
Yeah, no, it relates back to Appendix C, and it's just really in terms of the parish names that are used. I mean, Folkestone Harvey Central disappeared in April 2015. So it's and many of the other parish ward names that are used are very much out of date. So I mean, the new names have been in existence for over 6.5 years now. So I think it's time to get these changed.
Good point. Thank you, Dylan. Hopefully people have noted that, because you're quite right. Rory, you're next on my list.
Yeah, mine isn't up yet. It's the externally funded schemes, Chairman. I was a little hasty in getting in there. You haven't reached it yet, but when you get there, I shall wish to make a comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jackie, I can see your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I just want to say thank you for Highways for doing the works down Blackpool Road. We've still got quite a lot of work to do to make sure that pedestrians are safe crossing, etc. But this is definitely a good way forward for the moment. So I'd just like to say thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Right, moving on. LTP schemes, I said before, Cinque Ports cycle routes. And that's phase 2. It says here, funding not available until 2022. Does anybody want to query that? Wendy? Yes, you can, Wendy.
I didn't know. When it says funding not available until 2022, I would have written it and said funding not available. I didn't know there was an option of it in 2022, so I don't want that to be misleading.
Okay.
I hadn't seen this report before it's come in, so I'm not sure that we have any for 2022, but it might be that we can, bid for some money from somewhere. I think sometimes things do come through, don't they? And so we may be able to, but I don't want you to think, oh, in April 2022, we're going to have the last. And also, I think there's land required from Hythe Town Council for that one as well, isn't there? Their permission to go across the green. So that's
okay. Well, thank you for that. And then we go on to page 20, we're top of page 20, phase 3, High Promenade to Griswold. Yeah, we've done that. Cinque Ports, cycle route, phase 3, Nichols Road and Dymchurch Doubts. Anything on that? Anyone wants to say? Personally, I think it's a great scheme, but that's just my view. Yes, Wendy.
Just that we started last week, so it has started.
There you go. Hot off the press.
Yeah.
Andy.
Just a quickie. I just want to double check there's nothing going to stop this moving forward, because there seems to be some double language coming through with regard to funding. As I understand it from David Brazier, the funding is available, it will be going ahead and there is no obstacles. So can I just have some clarification that is the case and it will be going ahead and there are no obstacles?
Oh, can I ask, Chair?
Yes, Wendy, of course.
Sorry, Councillor Weatherhead. Do you mean for phase 5?
Yes, phase 5, parts 2 and 3, I believe it is.
Yep. So phase 3 is separately on there, and that's the one where we need the permission from the Hive Town Council. But
Is it Hive Town Council or is it MOD?
To go across the green? No, so that's separate. That's phase 3. We've done phase 4, and now on to phase 5. It's being funded from the Active Travel Fund. That started on Monday, but we've broken that into 2 phases. So the first phase goes from Nichols Road to the Redoubt. So that should take about 20 weeks. Sorry, I'm reading from my notes. And then we do still need land from the MOD. We're negotiating with them. We're hoping that when the phase 1 or phase A or B or whatever we call it, phase A finishes, we'll be able to continue and do the last bit around the Redoubt.
So just to be clear, then the MOD have not given us the land yet or sold us the land yet.
We're talking to them. They are very, for it, and so we've just got to finish them, finalise the bits with our legal team, I think. So that's why we've split it into 2 phases rather than wait for all of that. We can do the first 1,000 metres to the Redoubt, and we have got funding for both through the Active Travel Fund.
All right, so we can pick up on the MOD issue on the next JTB then.
Yeah, but if I can suggest, Wendy,
it'd
be a good idea to keep the local member, Mr. Councillor Weatherhead, informed of how that goes.
Yeah,
and
that's
I wouldn't mind it as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Rather than wait for the next meeting.
No, I can do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Right, moving on. Next one will be externally funded schemes. The Active Travel Route Cheriton to Folkestone Central. I'm waiting for Councillor Love to say something. No? Okay. Oh yes, got your hand up. How strange. You're muted, Councillor Love.
Right, that's the problem when you try to do 2 things at once. I was trying to find my hand and also unmute myself. So thank you, Chairman. Yeah, what can I say about this? Well, let me start by saying that I wanted to thank the KCC officers who took the time and trouble to come to the public meeting that my good colleague, Councillor Dylan Jeffrey, and I organised. Well, he did all the organising actually in Cheriton to meet with residents and make sure that residents had their say. And I think probably about 300 or so of them had their say at our public meeting. That wasn't part of the consultation. That was separate to the consultation. And I am grateful to Wendy and for organising that other officers were able to be there. Nicola was one of them, and I'm now, this is terrible.
Jamie was the other one. Yes, it was Jamie. Yeah,
it was Jamie, and really grateful that they took the trouble. They explained very carefully the background to this. I'm also looking forward in anticipation to an announcement that this scheme will not go forward, because I think it's very clear to me, it's very clear to many of the residents that this is going to cause some serious issues for the local economy in Cheriton High Street, with the loss of such a high proportion of parking in an area that relies very much on the through trade as well as local pedestrian trade. The through trade is so important, and particularly with the specialist nature of some of the establishments in the high street, the charity shops, the specialist niche shops, the furniture shops, and so on. So, but there's a difference between taking a view on whether the scheme is going to work and recognising the work and effort that those particular officers put in, and it is hugely appreciated. Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Roy. It's very kind. Dylan, you're next on the list.
I mean, I would echo what Rory has said in terms of officer support. That was invaluable. It was critical in terms of making the meetings go smoothly, and it was informative, and all in all, it went really well. I think the response rate has been phenomenal. I mean, nearly 1,000 responses to the second consultation, which is colossal in terms of numbers for a scheme like this. and we are still awaiting to hear back whether the petition was ruled valid or not for Transportation Committee. The petition organiser is getting a little bit upset. It's been many weeks now. They've not heard anything back, and hopefully it will be superseded by a decision not to move forward with this scheme. So we are still waiting for feedback on that. And obviously, hopefully the Cabinet member will be making an announcement soon that we won't be moving ahead once all the consultation details have come out, because I do appreciate that officer time with 1,000 responses is going to take quite a while to go through.
Okay, Roy, do you want to comment on that, or it was a historic?
Yeah, just briefly, if I may. I was discussing the petition with the chairman of the Environment and Transport Cabinet Committee just the other day over the weekend, and things will be moving on that fairly quickly. I don't want to make some sort of announcement here before others are aware of it, but that is starting to move forward. And I also just wanted to say, I'm very conscious when I say that I hope we won't be proceeding with the scheme. I also just want to say that I am, and I'm sure Dylan feels similar to me on this, that if there is a scheme that will work for active travel in and around Cheriton and linking up with other parts of Folkestone and other key locations like the station, but just in a way that works for Cheriton rather than actually works against it, then we're really keen to hear it. And I think that's one of the messages that came out of our public meeting as well, that there are a lot of people who actually want to promote cycling and want to have those opportunities, but we've got to get that balance right. So it's not a question of, we just don't want cycle schemes, on the contrary, but we just need to get them, we need to do a bit of, we need to get them more nuanced so that they work for everyone, and so that other people don't suffer as a result of them working. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you for that. As a point very well made, Rory, that we're not against active travel per se. It's what you want. There's a win-win rather than a win-lose, which if you have a problem with shops and trying to run a business, I understand that. I mean, been a shopkeeper for 25 years. But yeah, it's a point well made. So let's see what happens next on that. But thank you for that. It's great. On that page 20, going down from the next one is A261 London Road Junction, Military Road, Scanners Bridge, Road Junction. That's an outline design. Anybody got a view about that? Oh, sorry. Oh,
no, that's all right.
That is, you went first.
Sorry, Chair.
Go on, Wendy. You ladies first.
Did you want me to comment on the active travel, or are you just? Or
you're welcome to
just move on.
You can.
I kind of wanted to respond to Councillor Love and Councillor Jeffrey, and obviously it's really good to hear that you are on board with promoting cycling and everything. And like you say, it was very well attended, your meetings that you organised, and we have had over 900 responses to our online questionnaire. We've also had ones that have come straight to us, so we fed them into them as well. And I just kind of wanted to reassure you that we do have to analyse the responses, get them to, and look at them. So we are doing that, but I wanted to assure you that we are doing a proper thorough analysis of that, and people's views will be considered and listened to. So, and it may be that we can say, actually, we can do this part of the scheme or a scheme here, or it's still in, still in the local area, but perhaps not, where the opposition to the parking bays is. I can't obviously preempt the outcome of the, consultation, but just to reassure you that we will listen to people's views, and I know how strongly they felt and everything in Cheriton. So we have to do the analysis. We're hoping to we're going to take a decision for all 4 schemes, because we've got some in the other areas as well, to Environment and Transport Cabinet Committee.
Yep.
I think it's the 18th of January. So we will go, and I think that the petition, I had to chase the petition as well because we hadn't heard about it. So I chased the Legal and Democratic Services team, and I believe that that's they have got that as well. So I can ask if it's being acknowledged, and if the person that actually started the petition will get a response if you want me to. So I can do that. But just to reassure you that we are listening. That's the point of a consultation, isn't it? To listen to everyone's views. So I can.
Thanks for that, Wendy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very positive. I like that. Thank you. Andy, you're next on my list. You're muted.
Yeah, no, we're not. I just I was going to move on to the A261 Military Road, Scannons Bridge Junction. I was going to combine that with the Tesco's at Dymchurch.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not sure if as a councillor we're allowed to get excited, but I'm quite excited by these two things happening. They're obviously something that's been sought after for a long time by the local residents of both places. So I'm pleased to see them happening. I'm very keen to pursue them, and I will be hoping for some positive updates. So if I can throw that one back in your court, please, Chairman. And
yes, you
my
certainly
ears
can.
are ready.
Yeah, oh, thank you for that, Andy. And I must say, the one outside Tesco's on the 259, anything to slow down the 259 is gratefully received. It's a very dangerous road. Thank you. Right, moving on. Page 21, we're now into developer funded works. Schemes. First one on my list there is Stone Street, Old Stone Gate Farm. Then we have Sellinge A20 phase 1. It's obviously some of this is complete. Sellinge A20 phase 2, Cheriton High Street completed. Cheriton High Street, Cheriton Approach. Jointon Road, Folkestone, starting November, and A20 Sellinge Converter Station. Any points on any of those on page 21? No? Okay. Right, turning over. Page 20. Yes, sorry.
I had a point. I put my hand up.
I missed that. My apologies.
Can I raise the two that you've covered so far, Cheriton High Street and Cheriton Approach.
Yes.
Can I first of all ask a question about the Cheriton High Street one, which is the Tesco, Horn Street and the slip lane? I'm just wondering whether any of the officers can advise me whether the bus shelter is back yet. There was some work going on last week, but I haven't had a chance to get up there to check. But there was a really important bus shelter that was ordered a while ago. It came in, apparently it was the wrong size, and so it had to go back again. So where are we on that? I'm going to, when I know it's there, I'll stop pressing on about it. The other point on the next one, reference 3053, Cheriton High Street, and Cheriton Approach. I'm pleased to see now that the developer's looking into signals for push button control. What I'm a little disappointed about is that this has been scheduled until June 2022. I've had yet another email from a resident who witnessed somebody getting into trouble on that pedestrian crossing last week, and I made the point that I will flag this up at this Joint Transportation Board meeting. This is a really dangerous crossing. It's a very confusing crossing. There are several lanes of traffic, and I've crossed it myself just to see what it's like on a number of occasions. And for somebody that's I regard myself as being pretty sort of clued up about where traffic may be coming from. But I have to say, this is confusing. And if we can do anything to move that time scale further forward, and then I think it would be very, very helpful indeed from a safety point of view. I will come back on another one later, if I may, Chairman. When you
okay, feel free. Yeah, no problem. Who wants to pick that up, James or anybody?
Yeah, Chair.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, I've taken notes. Well, first off, your bus shelter, Councillor Love. I'm no idea on that one. I can always get a colleague to check up on that. With regards to Cheriton High Street, Cheriton Approach, I've taken note. I know it does say on there the status till June 2022, and I agree that it is a pressing site. I know they're designing a possible push button control conclusion to it, which will obviously take time. But they're obviously looking at closing off the crossing points altogether. But yeah, I agree, something needs to be done sooner than later. But I've taken note on that, and I'll take it forward and update the earliest chair.
Right, thanks for that, James. If you could,
Chairman, may I say that was going incredibly well until I heard the bit about removing the crossing points altogether. That would not go down well. But can I thank James for that? And I know that he personally has also looked at this in the past and witnessed what I've witnessed and what other residents have witnessed. And I thank him for continuing to put pressure on the developers on this.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, James, if you can email Kate with any findings you have, and Kate then can communicate them to the committee, so as work in hand before the next meeting.
Okay.
Right then, thank you. Moving on from page 21 now to page 22. Carrying on by the same theme, Ashley Avenue, Folkestone Seafront Development, A25 Norma, former Sands Motel site, Royal Military Avenue, Cockreed Lane, and Nursery West Road, Martello Lakes Phase 3, Dymchurch Road Roundabout, Cornwall Wallace Avenue, French House, Ordington Road. Anything once ways there? Any points? Right, yes, I'll say it's time, Rory. Yep, go for it.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Royal Military Avenue. I'm going to carry on raising this one again as well. I wonder whether any modification to the entrance for the new development would also be an appropriate time to look at reinstating some footway lighting along Royal Military Avenue into North Road. And I've raised it before. I know the lighting was taken away a number of years ago, but you know, subsequent to that, there's a theatre, there's a preschool group that takes advantage of the theatre site. There's a lot of pedestrian movement in that part of Royal Military Avenue and into North Road, and I think it would be hugely beneficial to have some street lighting for safety. I'm not one that likes to sort of have street lighting all over the place, but where there is a very clear need and there are clear routes with parents and children and visitors to the theatre, then I think it would be extremely helpful. And the development looks to be an opportunity, I think, perhaps to get some community gain from the work that's going on there.
Good points, Councillor Love. Andy Weatherhead.
Yes, sorry, Chair. Two ones, if I may. Something in my division first. Martello Lakes, Phase 3's Dymchurch Road roundabout. Is that all complete now? Is that finished? I know we can drive around the roundabout now with great delight and joy, but is it all completed?
The answer is it is complete. It's complete apart from perhaps just the bollards that need lighting up, and of course the surrounding pavements, but the roundabout itself is totally complete.
Okay, cool, good, lovely. Okay. And if I may, just to pick up on, on something that's not in my division, but I'm going to take a leaf out of Rory's book and land grab. A259 former Sands Motel site. Being a resident of that area, that particular issue is driving me insane in the membrane. Those lights have not worked since I ever moved down here, which seems like a lifetime ago. And what is happening there? Because it just nothing, it's just rolling on and on and on. So is there anyone actually doing anything, or is it just a continual road work?
I wonder whose division that is. I wonder.
I wonder.
I wonder. James, do you have an opinion about that?
No. Thank you for bringing up, Councillor. I've made a note of that, Tony. I'll get some updates, answers from the relevant colleague, and get back to you ASAP.
Yeah, it's been there for many, many years. You're quite right, Andy. It's taking forever. I believe it's a money problem. That's what I was told a long while ago. they have to finance the work.
Well,
But it has been taking a long time.
they opened everything up and they put in a nice new pedestrian crossing. Several weeks later, some gentlemen in high vis turned up, dug the road up, took the pedestrian crossing out, put a battery operated one there that doesn't work. It's just a mess. It's just the rolls off.
Resorting. You're right. You're right. Let's see what James can find out for you. What I wanted to add to that, Cockreed Lane in my area as well. Just say thank you for that. I'm very, very worried about Cockreed Lane. It's high speed. It needed resurfacing, so I'm glad it's being done. And I'll wait. There's the speed reduction scheme we got going in. But thanks for that, James, as well. Okay. Anything else? Moving on. Okay. Right now, we got Bridgeworks update to follow. Is it in the other pack, Kate? Is anything there?
It is, yes.
Okay, bear with me 1 second. Okay, got it. Right, you have Durble Road, Lid, Wenham's Lane, Old Romney, Bookwall, Brookland, Green Lane, Hyde, and Beggars Bush Lane, Old Romney. 4 out of 5 are in my area. And I'm glad to see they're being done, or going to be done. The design work's carrying at the moment. I think you're going on to Beggars Bush Lane is underway. But all this work that is done. But the Hawk Wall one, I was asked by Brookland Parish Council to raise this. It's taking forever. Do we have any understanding why it's taking so long? It's got to be over a year.
3 or 4 years.
Any thoughts, James?
No, it just so happens I was discussing this with my colleague Debbie Watkins today, because I think it's been closed.
Yeah.
Well, we think it's been closed for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I'll have to take this forward with our structures team, Tony. And
I'll be interested to find out. I
Yeah.
feel sorry for the pub there as well, the Woolpack, because I'm surprised they're still in business. But it's been a very long time, that one.
I can only take this forward, Chair, and try and get some answers for you, I'm afraid.
Okay, no problems. See how we get there. Right, number G, Appendix G, which was page 24. We've got no programmed works on that one. There's traffic schemes on that. Appendix H. We have 2 schemes here under combined members grant programs updates. One is for Rory, which is at Tanners Hill, Saltwood, and one is mine in Cockreed Lane and Ashford Road, which I'm very happy is going down to 30. I prefer it in 20, but I'll settle for 30 at the moment. Any thoughts on those? No? Rory, sorry, I didn't see your hand there.
Yeah, thanks, Chairman. Just to thank our officers for their support on getting the Tanners Hill scheme in place, and really a very good job that's been made of it with a new little village gate arrangement to help, hopefully help draw people's attention, motorists' attention to the start of the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit outside the cricket club.
Okay.
In turn, should slow traffic down in School Road, which is what I'm hoping for. So, and I hope we'll be able to monitor that maybe in another 6 months' time or so, just to do a speed check there to see whether there's been any impact or what impact there has been. But I'm quite hopeful for that, and I was able to report that at a recent parish council meeting as well. And there seems to be some good support for that. So thank you.
Excellent. Okay, that's good. But page 26 on the original pack, public rights of way. We have 3 HE282, HM142, and HF24. Any thoughts on those? They've been signed. Nope. Okay, moving on.
Chairman, Councillor Carey has her hand up.
Oh, sorry, Susan, I missed that.
Yeah, I had both hands up this time. People were saying everything takes forever, and the footpath on Tolsford Hill has taken a very long time. I'd just like to welcome it being here and ask if it's going to, if the officers know if measures are in place to stop the vehicles joining this footpath that caused the problem in the first place.
Okay.
It's a byway, I think you'll find, which is open to all traffic.
That I would not know. Is it a boat?
Well, apart from
No
that,
views?
a byway is open for everything. It's why the off-road.
Yeah, byway open to all traffic.
It's been done by the four-wheel drives and the motorbikes that keep going up and down it.
Okay.
Well, doubtless we'll see it back on the list again.
Yeah, no doubt. Right, going on from that to the next part of Appendix I. Street works. We have a list on page, it would have been page 27. Dover Road, Hope All Saints, Pilgrims Way, Staple Lane, White Ways, Moorstock Lane, Cockash Lane, Beach Road, Woodland Way, Grace Hill, Beggars Bush Lane. Any thoughts on any of those from anybody? No? Okay. Oh, sorry. Gotcha. Come.
I'd just like to put in a plea for less jargon, please. I think I can make a good guess at what some of these initials are, but sometimes members of the public even like to read these documents. So I think we should make an attempt to communicate.
Okay, that's fine. And again, I'd just like to say about Beggars Bush Lane, culvert reconstruction. We do need that desperately for surface flooding. So well done, whoever's doing that one. And that should be done, I believe, by December. Right, going over the page, Dens Lane, another culvert reconstruction. Ashford Road, the street, Joynton Road, Radnor Park Avenue, and Avering Road. Any of those of interest to anybody? No? Okay. Well done for Dens Lane, KCC. Right. And I think that brings us to about the end, I think, almost. Except for we've got now on those sections, we now have the winter schedule, I believe. Bear me a second, might catch up to speed. Yes, local winter service plan on pages of your 29 to 44. Have they had a chance to look at that? Has anybody got any views on it? Right, Susan, you want to go first?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm full of complaints tonight. Listen, the gritting map, I found incomprehensible. When I tried to make it bigger, I couldn't read it. So I tried to read it on the website. And on the website, it says 25th of October, 2021, our map of gritting routes is currently unavailable. We apologise for the inconvenience. Well, yeah, one of the papers was threatening us with snow this week. I really think we ought to have that particular item corrected, up and working as soon as possible. Similarly, on the salt bin locations, the link doesn't work and an error message when you look online. I can see Dylan's been looking at these as well. There's no Appendix 5 and no Appendix, no Appendix 4 and no Appendix 5. I understand the others are for internal use and we wouldn't want to give out highways numbers to members of the public so that people were trying to contact them when they were at their busiest at the height of an emergency. But is Appendix 4 and is Appendix 5 internal use only? I really think this is this paper needed more attention before it came for us tonight,
more.
and
Yeah.
we've had to wait for this as well. So it's
Yes.
disappointing.
Very disappointing. You're quite right.
And sorry, and of more substance, I'd just like the usual reassurance that White Horse Hill, Spitfire Way, and Dover Hill are actually up there where they where actually I got them put many years ago for first treatment whenever there's bad weather, because they are such crucial routes for our area. So just an assurance that those routes will be cleared first of all.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, Susan. If I remember, we were told by Miss Valentine that at the last Transport Waste Cabinet Committee that there was a list of bins that had been refilled and checked, and hopefully there's nothing being deleted from anybody's division, because they should do. They should tell us if they have. But James, can you take back Susan's concerns?
Yeah, absolutely, Chair. If I can just give an update with the salt bins.
Yes.
I had instructed my small team of 2 stewards to inspect every single salt bin within the Folkestone Hive district. I think we identified 46 empty salt bins. So we've had an order put in to have all 46 empty salt bins refilled.
Excellent.
Kent's policy is anything less than 50% full, we go ahead and fill them up. Anything above, obviously, 50%, we're not touching them, Tony. So all 46 should have been filled by now, I would have thought. The requested ton salt bags as well have gone out. I believe a letter for the parishes just to see where the hotspots were for additional salt bags. Anything else I can add here? I will go back to these links that are not working as well, Tony.
Okay, please do. And could you report back to Kate on this so she can talk to members? We have a couple of members of the committee who want to talk to you yet about this, but if I can just say, the one at Dunes Road, I don't know if it's still damaged, but the lid was damaged and it was full of water. That to me is an important one in my neck of the woods, because a lot of elderly people use that crossing, and that's why the salt is so required. But sorry, Councillor Love.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Can I just support the points that Susan's just made about Councillor Carey's just made about the links on the website and the links from the report and so on, because I mean, you know, these things, somebody must surely click the links to check that they're working before they're published or before they're even put on our website. I mean, if you click on our website, it doesn't take you, it takes you to a broken link. So we need to do better than that for the public.
Yes.
Who'll be looking. Can I make my usual comment that I mean, I welcome that we are now actually publishing the government's advice on snow clearance for citizens themselves. And there's a link that does work that takes you to the government's page on clearing snow from a road, path or cycleway. And, you know, I've always said that if everybody does a little bit themselves outside their own property, or perhaps a couple of neighbours' properties as well, then we can actually help clear quite a lot of pavements. And it's a shame that we don't actually promote that a little bit more. But, you know, it actually makes it very clear. Sometimes people feel that they might be sued or something, and the government makes it very clear that it's unlikely you'll be sued or held responsible if someone's injured, if you've cleared it carefully. And it tells you don't put water on it or something, you know, because that'll freeze. But there is some good advice there, and I wish we would actually promote that as well, to encourage people to, you know, be a little more active as good citizens in their
good points, Rory. Well made. We should all be good neighbours in that context, particularly with the elderly who haven't got nowhere for to go and spread the salt. But yeah, points well made. And I think we should be more proactive. I totally agree. Even so, we should tell the parish councils as well. Speaking of which, Frank.
Thank you, Chairman. I I find the list very confusing in as much
Yep.
that some of the places have got a parish name, some of them have got ward names, some of the ward names no longer exist, for instance, Tolsford. I mean, it says, for instance, Church Road, north, south, west.
Carry on, Frank.
Sorry, it says
Technical blip.
Church Road, north, south, west. Well, there's several church roads in north, south, west. Well, which one is it? It would
Yep.
be far better if it was the parish name that was put in rather than the ward name. You get a better idea of where we're talking about.
Well, I'm sure that can be taken up as well. Clarity is everything, Frank. You're quite right.
Sorry.
Dylan.
Sorry, Councillor, was this regarding the
Yeah.
salt bin, the locations?
Identification, where it says salt
Yeah,
bin
the
locations.
salt bin list, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, got it? Okay. Right, Dylan, you're next.
Yeah, I mean, something I've raised previously at county, and I know Ben certainly took it up, which is the joined up government approach. Now, with salt bins, the yellow salt bins are obviously KCC bins. Now, in Folkestone, we have a plethora of blue bins, which are provided by Folkestone Town Council. And it would be nice to see that joined up approach on a mapping system, whereby when the link does work, residents can look and see where is the local salt bin, whether it's a blue one or a yellow one. I don't think our residents care. They just want to use a salt bin. And whilst KCC are responsible for refilling the yellow ones, and the town council in Folkestone are responsible for refilling the blue ones, nonetheless, a link that provides a list of all of the salt bins in the area would be far more helpful, and a joined up approach. And I think that that's what we need to work towards in terms of providing a good, effective approach for our residents.
Okay, have you got all that, James?
Yes, I have. Thank you, Councillor.
Well done. Yeah, thank you. Right, if I can just put a little plea for myself, for at least 4 years, maybe 5, I've been asking for Curtin Road to be sorted, and it's the major link to the power station, and yet on my map we're still going around Battery Road, which is very concerning. I've raised this with Pauline many times, and many times she said, well, when it comes up in the summer, we can do it then. And of course, it's always postponed. We never see it in the summertime. We see it tends too late. It's already been adopted. So it has to run over to next year. This is not a happy situation. I think members should have the opportunity to have input into this prior to this going forward. So if you could just take that back, James, from me, that I think scheduling of this work is poor. Okay.
Yeah.
You're breaking up a bit, James. Say again.
Can you hear me now, Chair?
Yes.
I think it may have been explained before. For us to add Curtin Road, we'd have to remove part of the primary route network to kind of accommodate Curtin Road.
But that's not quite true, James, because we actually do the power station road free of charge, and that belongs to EDF and Magnox as was. So if they can do that long stretch of road free of charge, a quick look round the loop at Battery Road down Curtin Road, I won't break the bank.
The only thing I can add to this is a way forward. Every time that there is like a primary route shout, as an individual engineer's instruction, that we do Curtin Road as well as an add-on, which could possibly be.
Hopefully Councillor Carey is wrong. We'll get no snow this weekend. But hopefully the weather will be fine or winter with climate change. It will be. But if we do get icy conditions, because we have that bridge on Curtin Road, I know I'm banging on about this, it is very dangerous. You get a car coming down Curtin Road on that bridge, it'll come straight into the main road, and it can cause a very unpleasant accident. So anyway.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Susan. Right, anything else on that? No? Well, I think you've got a reasonable go. So that brings us to the end of the agenda. If anybody's got anything else to want to raise, we could always sneak it in now if anybody's that keen. Otherwise, I'd just like to thank our officers, James, and it's lovely to see Wendy here as well. And you're always welcome to come again, Wendy. So please don't be stressed. Oh, sorry, Jackie, I missed you out.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick one, because obviously we're transportation. I'm wondering if we've got any update on the situation with the buses and bus drivers at the moment, because we know that the services have been cut because they're having problems actually getting drivers. And I'm just wondering, as the Transportation Board, whether we've had any update.
I haven't heard anything myself from Stagecoach. I've had notification. Whether it's Susan's at all, I don't know. But I haven't heard anything. But we can make inquiries. Yeah. I'll see if Kate can give Stagecoach a call.
Lovely, thank you, because it's really important to some places in our district.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that myself, Jackie. So I
and
know
unfortunately, it looks
problem.
like there may be a strike as well. So any information
Oh,
that
dear.
we could get would be useful, I think.
It certainly would be. That's great. Thank you for raising that, Jackie. Anything else before I turn the switch off? I wish you all good nights. Okay, thank you for attending.
Lovely.
And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you all.
Thank you.